So, the fourth and final season, at least for now, unfortunately, of Resident Alien is here, and I am here to review it. I love this show. I think it's hilarious. I think this show missed a lot this season, but I think it was still pretty hilarious and still worth the watch. I think there was more good than bad, but there was some stuff I didn't like that I'll get to. The very first episode is about Harry being in prison, but he gets out pretty much immediately. I wish we would have got to see him in prison a little bit longer, maybe 2 episodes. But he gets out pretty much immediately. He's able to convince a gray alien to let him out, and she'll take the gray alien to Earth. The gray alien ends up dying because it can't handle Earth's atmosphere. So that's like the majority of episode 1, at least in my opinion. Asta's dad doesn't get to do that much this season. I didn't like that. I was a big fan of his character, but I believe his first appearance was like 5 episodes in, maybe 4, out of 10 episodes, and he doesn't do that much. I get he's an older actor, but man, he's never really in the action scenes. I would have liked to see him a little bit more. In episode 2, it's revealed that Harry does no longer has his alien power, and he tries to get it back. He's even willing to sell out his somewhat friend, the gray alien, while it's like dying and decomposing and melting. But that doesn't work out. That is pretty much episode 2. In episode 3, Harry and Darcy just fucking time travel. I thought that was pretty funny. They travel back in time to try and get something that they need. It turns out the CIA lady actually needs it more, so they end up letting her have it. It doesn't really work out for her, so they end up taking it in the end, I believe. Pretty decent episode. Cool to see her get some more characterization. We see a bit more of her with her father and what her father's relationship is like. And they kind of mess with time, which, I mean, this is a comedy, so I don't really care about them messing with time. But, yeah, they mess with time, and now her and her father have a better relationship now. And I believe that's the last we see of her. I don't think we see her in any of the other episodes. I think she just appeared in episode 3 and just kind of fucked off. They gave her a happy ending, and like, there you go. Not a criticism, just pointing something out that I realized, because I genuinely think she was only in this episode. Also, another thing, the Mantid is hyped up as this big villain, and it's voiced by the same dude that plays Mr. Krabs. I've never watched SpongeBob, but I'm sure that's who most people know him for. He doesn't get to do that much as him and gets killed by the end of the 3rd episode. Though the Mantid does come back. It is the big bad of the season. But it did feel me leaving a bit down. Like they had hyped it up and then they kill it in the 3rd episode. But don't worry, the Mantid does come back. Episode 4 has Harry and Heather, his owl alien girlfriend, reunite. But unfortunately for her, he's not an alien anymore. His alien energy is gone, and he doesn't find her attractive anymore. So he kind of convinces her to stay in her human body for a while. Eventually he does admit to her, though, that he just doesn't find her attractive anymore, and he's not an alien, and that she needs someone that loves her for her, so they shouldn't be together. And I do like that sentiment, but I felt like it was a little bit rushed, because Harry says he doesn't want to confess to her at all, and then he eventually just kind of does. In episode 5, Harry decides that he needs a soulmate and confesses his love to Asta. That is not a big thing, though. He changes his mind pretty quickly. And yeah, it's just kind of whatever. They do mention it maybe once or twice after, where people joke, aren't you supposed to be getting married? And she's like, does everybody know? But it doesn't really lead to that much because it's more of just him trying to be more human by dating someone. So, yeah, he didn't actually really have feelings for her. So, the 6th episode, he's brought to the council of aliens and told that he's done some stuff wrong. And he tells them, hey, he'll kill the mantid and bring them the body. And that will fix all the problems. But, that is, he killed the mantid like 3 episodes ago. So I was like, oh, this is going to be lame. He's just going to dig up the body of the mantid. But it turns out mantids can like heal or something when being buried underground. So that ends up being really bad. And the mantid's not there anymore. Crazy. The 7th episode of the series, Harry's dad is on Earth and he's supposed to determine if Harry gets his alien powers back or not. And he decides to say, hey, if you want your powers back, you gotta kill somebody. You gotta kill one human to prove you deserve these powers back. Which, Harry tries to kill Asta's abusive ex-boyfriend from season 1. And this is one of the things that I thought they kind of failed on. They try and make you feel somewhat bad. I don't think they're trying to redeem this character or anything like that. But they're like, yeah, his dad used to abuse him. And then Harry has this inner monologue about how people aren't born bad. They become bad because of how they were treated. It's stupid. There's plenty of people who, had abusive childhoods that don't become bad people. Unfortunately, it is somewhat common that, people repeat the cycle. But it shouldn't be a way to somewhat defend the character. At least that's how it came across to me. Also, I do want to mention Harry's dad is played by Fuchs from Barry, one of my favorite TV shows. It's hilarious, that one of my favorite TV shows has a character come into this show when this is also one of my favorite TV shows. Both of those shows are in my top 5 TV shows. I really enjoy Resident Alien and I really enjoy Barry. So yeah. They also have like this weird arc with Darcy where she loses Asta's money briefly, but it turns out she didn't really lose it. But she thinks she did. So she lies to Asta and says, oh, the bank just made a mistake. Asta believes her. And now Darcy wants to kill herself because if Asta believes her, then who even is she? I think that was a weird way to go about it. I get that everybody can have a mental breakdown or everybody's depression differs. Like, you can have a mental breakdown over the silliest thing. Like, you might have been struggling with depression for years and then you drop an ice cream cone and then suddenly you just want to end it all because of all the stuff you've been going through. And this one thing might be the collapsing point. But, I don't know. It came across very weird. And it becomes something that Darcy brings up in a lot of her scenes. Is like, hey, I was going to kill myself. Hey, I was going to kill myself. And it just becomes very common. And it even ends a scene when I think Darcy and Asta should have hashed out what happened. Darcy admits to Asta that she was going to kill herself that night, and now their argument's just fixed. They no longer have problems with each other. It feels like lazy writing. Why even have them have problems in the first place if that's how you're going to solve it? But who am I to say that it's like a wrong way to portray mental health? I'm depressed. Lots of people are depressed. Maybe someone else can relate to the fact that they lied to a friend and the friend believed the lie and they wanted to kill themselves after that because they felt really bad. But I don't know, it comes across really weird. Harry's able to calm her down and change her mind. So that's good. Because I did like Darcy as a character. Sometimes I didn't like her. She was a bit mean at times. But the majority of the time, I did like her. Harry tries to get Max to help him in the next episode, but by this point, unfortunately, Max's parents do know that Harry's an alien, and they don't want him to be working with him to find aliens. That was something that was mentioned in one of the episodes, but I didn't feel like really talking about that. That is just something that happens in a lot of shows' final run, is that a lot of the characters will now find out the secret. You know, it's like in how season 4 of Henry Danger, or like the final season, actually, I think. It was like some characters finally found out that Henry was Kid Danger. It's just a typical writing formula, and it's fine. I guess we get to see these characters interact with stuff we normally wouldn't see them interact with. But it doesn't add that much to the plot. We do get some funny scenes with, like, Harry. This funny scene where Mike is talking about how they defeated this bad alien, and Mike's girlfriend is, like, wanting to kill aliens, and Harry's like, but I'm an alien. And then she just gets quiet. And Mike's like, he's a good one. We also get a pretty fucked up scene. I don't know why Harry worded it like this. He could have been much nicer about it. I know Harry's not always the nicest guy, but in this situation, it felt very forced writing-wise, where Harry admits to the fact that a few seasons ago, he had put a false memory in Mike's head of him going fishing with his dad. And that, at the end of the episode, it was, I'm pretty sure that Harry was like, he did it for a good reason. He had wanted Mike to have a good memory with his dad. And that was like the ending of the episode. Maybe the ending of that episode got backlash or something. So they decided to get rid of that here. But it does lead to a really good thing with, Mike actually going fishing with his dad. And he forgives Harry. So I did like that, but it felt very forced writing-wise that Harry would kind of say it smugly. Like, oh yeah, that memory, that is fake. And then, kind of boast like, oh, the 20-foot trout? Yeah, I knew what you were going to say. It felt very forced. The final episode, they bring back Dr. Ethan from like season 2, I believe. He's back now. And immediately dies. He's talking on the phone to his mom and he's like, hey, I gotta go back into town. They made people think I'm crazy. And then like a spaceship crushes him. Then we do get more of him because the Mantid, well, not even the Mantid, it's like a different alien. It's one of Harry's species, actually. I didn't even mention that. The Mantid came back and got defeated in episode 9. So, once again, the Mantid wasn't even the main threat that got defeated. Got defeated in episode 3, got defeated in episode 9, but it's finally done now. It took the form of the cop. I forget what her name is. I really like her, but it was Mark's deputy. Liv. Yeah, it took the form of Liv, and they were able to kill it. No, Ethan is like a alien now. Harry tells him that the only way to destroy the planet is to get something called a ball sack, which is pretty funny because obviously he doesn't know that a ball sack's like the human anatomy. I thought it's a bit childish, but that's pretty funny, especially with Harry's reaction. Him laughing every time he says ball sack, and then he convinces Dr. Ethan that he's not laughing, he's coughing. And Dr. Ethan's like, oh, you should really get that checked out. You should drink some water and stuff like that. But, they have him like dance at a party and stuff, and now he's not going to destroy the Earth. And then Harry decides to go home. And that is the end of Resident Alien. I enjoyed it. There was a lot I enjoyed. Some of it I didn't enjoy. I do think 4 seasons is a pretty good run for most shows. So I think I'm happy with that. Though Alan Tudyk says that he hopes that one day down the line that they might get a little bit more or something like that. That they might come back to it. But as of right now, the show is over.